Hello, my dear students. A very warm welcome to all of you in Shri Jayendra Rank Zone. I am your friend and mentor for the subject Principle and Practices of Accounting. In this lecture, we'll continue with Chapter 2, that is Accounting Process, and we'll continue with Unit 6 in that is Rectification of Errors. All the concepts will be covered in the coming series of lectures. So let's continue with lecture number 11, and that talks about rectification of errors. Okay, so lecture number 11, unit 6, rectification of errors. We should understand over here that if I talk about rectification of error, we can bifurcate this whole topic into three subtopics. Just take notings along with me. Rectification of errors, there could be three circumstances. First is error detected before trial balance. Error detected before trial balance. Second, error detected after finalization of trial balance. And at last, after final accounts. That means when we prepared balance sheet, trading P&L, after that you somewhere detected that there is some error. Further, we can divide this into two topics. First is double-sided error and we have single-sided error. We have double-sided error and we have single-sided error. Students, same over here also. In after trial balance, we could have double-sided error and single-sided error. After finalization of accounts also, we can bifurcate it as double-sided error and single-sided error. I hope you are clear. I hope you are clear. We should understand one thing over here, that double-sided error, it is quite easy to rectify. Why? Because what happens, there is no need of opening a suspense account in double-sided error. But if I talk about single-sided error, where error is there on only one side, we need to rectify by opening error account, wrong posting. Error account, wrong posting. In single-sided error, after finalization of trial balance, we need to use suspense account. I believe we understood. And after finalization of accounts, over here, in single-sided error, we need to use what? Suspense account. But students, we should understand one thing, that in case of double-sided error, after finalization of final accounts, we need to transfer it to profit and loss adjustment account. We'll understand in detail when we do the illustrative questions and practice questions of this chapter. I hope you are clear. So just understand, before trial balance in double-sided error there is no issue. Single-sided error, we need to open error account, that is wrong posting. After finalization of trial balance, single-sided error in both the cases, double-sided error and single-sided error, suspense account can deal it. After finalization of accounts, if there is a single-sided error, then we would open suspense account and will correct that. But if in case we have double-sided error in after finalization of final accounts, and in that case we need to adjust the profits using profits and loss adjustment accounts. My dear students, let me tell you that why we are opening profit and loss adjustments account over here. The thing is, supposingly the error occurred in the year 2020. Error occurred. Error detected in 2021. So this is 2020-21, this is 21-22. Error detected. Over here, error detected. You should understand over here that books are finalized in between. Books are finalized and final accounts are prepared. And final accounts are already prepared. If final accounts are already prepared over here at the end of 2020-2021 and we had begin with 2021 and 22, in this year we would be making profit and loss account. So if over here, if I am adjusting this error using P&L account, or if I'm using this error, supposingly there is an error in salary. There is an error in salary, my dear students. But we understood over here that yes, there is error in salary and we detected it. In 2021, we detected it. Now, if I'm posting this error in salary over here in 2020, if I'm posting it in salary, because of this, what happens that my profit and loss will go down because salary will be treated as an expense in the current year, and because my profits is will go down, this will give an unfair information to the shareholders, or you can say wrong information to the shareholder, misleading information to the shareholder. So what we need to do over here, we are not adjusting into using P&L account, we are opening profit and loss adjustment account. So the one who is reading the books of accounts should understand that this is an adjustment entry, and because there was an error in the year 2020-21, that is previous year, and in that year there some error occurred, in the current year the error is detected, and that is why we have adjusted it using profit and loss adjustment account. So this would be very simple and easy to understand. I believe all of you understood it well. I believe all of you understood it very well. Let us continue and see few of the illustrative examples, and let's see how far we can reach. My dear students, we are doing this case right now, that before preparation of trial balance, error occurred before preparation of trial balance. First of all, we are covering the illustrative examples in relation to these concepts before preparation of trial balance. Okay, so let's see illustration number 1. Illustration 1. How would you rectify the following errors in the books of Rama and Company? Just read the question. The total of the purchase book has been undercast by 100. My dear students, the total is undercast by 100. That means the balance of the purchase account is less by 100. So we'll put additional 100 in the purchase account. I believe you understood. Let's see the solution first over here. The purchase account should receive another debit of 100 since it was debited short previously to undercasting of purchase books for the month of rupee 100. So what we will do? We will additional debit purchase account by rupee 100. I think it is clear. So what we need to do over here? We will debit purchase account debit 100. Let's see the second one. The return inward book has been undercast by 50. Return inward book undercast by 50. My dear students, return inward is sales return and sales return is less by 50, undercast by 50. So what we will do? We need to debit sales return. Just read it over here. Due to this error, the return account has been posted short by 50. The error may be corrected. The to undercasting of return inward for the month of 50. Getting it? Let's see the third one. A sum of 250 written off as depreciation on machinery has been debited to depreciation account. That means what? A sum of 250 written off as depreciation on machinery has not been debited to depreciation account. So earlier we have not been depreciated into depreciation account, that is omission of posting will rectify that. The omission of debit of depreciation account will be rectified by the entry to omission of posting 250. Let's see the fourth one. A payment of 75 for salaries to Mohan has been posted twice to salaries. So we had written salaries to Mohan 75 plus 75 equal to 150 and to Mohan we have written 75. So how we will rectify? By this is an error. We have debited salary more, so we will credit it and accordingly we will rectify that. So this is the genuine entry. What would be the wrong entry? We have done. This is the wrong entry. What is the correct entry? The correct entry would be salary 75 to Mohan 75. And over here the salary is extra debit, so we will credit it and rectify it. Just see it over here. The excess of debit will be removed by a credit entry in the salary by double posting on 75. Let's see the fifth one. A total of bills receivable 1500 has been posted to credit of bills receivable account. Total of bills receivable 1500 has been posted to credit of bills receivable account. I believe you understood. Let's see. 1500 should have been debited to the bills receivable account because bills and receivable account is an asset and not credited. So to correct this mistake, we will double it and the bills receivable account should be debited by 3000 by this entry. So the entry should be bills receivable account debit 1500. By mistake we have credited it and we have written bills receivable credit 1500. How we will rectify that? We will debit bills receivable twice. Bills receivable 1500, bills receivable 1500, or you can write bills receivable account debit 3000. I think it is clear. Let's see the sixth one. An amount of 151 for a credit sale to Hari, although correctly entered in the sales book, has been posted as 115. Has been posted as 115. Error of commission. Let us see the now 151 minus 115 equal to 36. So Hari's personal account is debited 36 short. So the rectification entry will be to wrong posting 36. Sixth one. Just see it again. An amount of 151 for credit sale to Hari. If you made credit sale to Hari, what entry you will make? Hari to sales. This is the correct entry. What entry you had wrongly posted? Hari to sales you had done. Although correct entry of the sales book has been posted as 115. You posted 151 as 115. So you had written Hari debit 151 and you had written to sales 115. So we will credit sales again, and we will, how we will rectify? We'll credit it. The rectification entry would be, we'll write to sales 36 and would be rectified. Let's see the seventh one. Discount allowed to Satish 25 has not been entered to discount column of cash book. Discount allowed, so it should be debited. The amount has been posted correctly to the credit of personal account. Okay. Due to this error, discount account has been debited short by 25. So we need to debit it again. We will write discount account debited, and 2 you can write omission of discount allowed to Satish on 25. Accordingly, it would be dealt. Fine? Okay. So far we have discussed the correction of errors which affected only one account or more than one account, but for which rectifying entries were not complete journal entries. We shall now take up the correction of errors which affect more than one account in such a way that should complete the journal entries are possible for their rectification. Just read these illustrations. These are very crucial. The purchase of machinery 2000 has been entered in the purchase book. My dear students, you had purchased the machinery. How can you enter in the purchase book? But we have entered in the purchase book. The effect of the entry is that the account of supplier, that is Ram and Company, has been credited by 2000, which is quite correct. But the debit of purchase account is wrong. So the debit should be machinery account instead of purchase account. How we will rectify that? To rectify this error, the debit of purchase account has been transferred to machinery account, and the correcting entry will be credit purchase account and debit of machinery account. Please see the entries and try and understand. My dear students, let me try to make you understand once again. The correct entry is machinery account to Ram account 2000. By mistake we have posted purchase account to Ram account 2000. We should not debit purchase. So in rectification entry we have credited purchase, as you can see, and we should debit machinery. So in rectification entry we have debited machinery, as you can see, and this is the way we have rectified this error. I believe all of you must have understood this. Let us continue and see one more instance like this. Rupee 100 received from Kamal Kishore has been credited to account of Krishan Kishore. Wrong account. That means what? Error of commission. The error is that there is wrong credit in the account of Krishan Kishore and omission in the account of Kamal Kishore. I believe you understood. So Krishan Kishore should be debited and Kamal Kishore should be credited, as you can see it over here. Let's see the correct entry. What entry we should pass? Cash account debit to Kamal Kishore 100. What entry we have passed? Cash account debit to Krishan Kishore 100. So cash account, it is correct. We should not rectify that. So we should ideally, in correct entry we should credit Kamal Kishore. So we have credited it now, and we have by mistake credited Krishan Kishore. So we will debit it. So over here we have debited Krishan Kishore and credited Kamal Kishore. I believe we are clear now. Let's see one more instance like this, and it will be quite easy for you to rectify these kind of errors which affect two accounts. The third case, the sale of old machinery 1000 has been entered in the sales book. My dear students, in sales book we record credit sale of inventory. We do not record sale of machinery. Why? Because it is a non-current asset. Okay, by this entry, the account of the buyer has been correctly debited by 1000. That's great. But instead of crediting the machinery account, what we have done, sales account has been credited. In rectification entry, we will debit the sales account and we will credit the machinery account, and this is the way we will rectify that. I believe it is clear. To rectify the error, this account should be debited and machinery account will be credited. See the following entries, my dear students. In correct entry, we should write buyer's account debit 1000 to machinery account. By mistake, we have written buyer's account debit 1000 to sales account. The sales account is wrong. So how we will rectify that? We will debit sales account and we will credit machinery account. So this is the way we will pass rectification entry. I believe we are clear till here. Satisfy yourself. We need to move ahead. Let's see illustration 2 now. The following errors were found in the books of Ram Prasad and Sons. Give the necessary entries to correct them. Okay. Number 1. Rupee 500 paid for furniture purchased has been charged to ordinary purchases account. Rupee 500 paid for furniture purchased has been charged to ordinary purchases account. How we will rectify that? You should understand over here, my dear students, that we had purchased furniture. So furniture need to be debited. But by mistake we have debited what? Purchases. So purchases need to be credited. The correct entry would be furniture account debited to purchases account 500. I think it should be clear. Let's see the second one. It is interesting. Repairs made were debited to building account for 50. If you had made the repairs and the repair is not specific to building, in that case it should be repair. So repairs made were debited to building account for 50. And we are not talking about the installation cost or something in the beginning of the building. So let's leave it. Just understand it over here that we should debit what? We should debit repair. By mistake we have debited what? By mistake we have debited building. So we need to credit building now. Repairs will be debited and building will be credited. I think it is clear. Let us move to the third one now. An amount of 100 withdrawn by the proprietor for his personal use has been debited to trade expenses account, which is wrong. You had withdrawn for your personal use. The entry should be drawings account debited because you have used it personally. But where you have debited? You have debited in trade expenses. So for the rectification, we will credit trade expenses. I think it should be clear. Let us begin with the fourth one. 100 paid for rent debited to landlord's account. What kind of error is this? 100 paid for rent. So rent should be debited. By mistake we have debited landlord. So we should credit landlord now to landlord account. I think we are clear. Let's see the fifth one now. Salary 125 paid to a clerk has been debited to his personal account. You had paid what? Salary. Then why you have debited to personal account? You should debit it to salaries account. Salaries account debit. But by mistake you have debited in clerk's personal account. So we will credit clerk's personal account. I believe it is clear. Let's see the sixth one now. Rupee 100 received from Shah and Company has been wrongly entered as from Shaw and Company. Rupee 100 received from Shah and Company. So the entry is cash to Shah and Company. By mistake, what entry you have done? Cash to Shaw and Company. So you should credit Shah and Company that you had not done. So we will credit that. In rectification entry, we will write to Shah and Company. And because by mistake we have credited Shaw, we will debit him Shaw and Company. This is the rectification entry that will work for this point. I think we are clear. We are hopeful. Let us continue with point number 7. Rupees 700 paid in cash for a typewriter was charged to office expense account. So you had paid it for typewriter. Typewriter should be debited. Typewriter account debit. What you have debit by mistake? We have transferred to office expense. So by mistake we have debited office expense. So we will credit office expense now to office expense account. To office expense account. I think we are clear. Okay. So students, just see it over here. Furniture to purchases. By mistake we have debited building, so we have credited it, and then repairs would be debited. Drawings we have by mistake put into trade expenses, so we will put it in drawing and rectify the trade expenses. For rent we have written landlord, so landlord would be credited and rent would be debited. Salaries, personal account, Shaw and Shah, just see it. Typewriter and expenses, office expenses. We had done it correctly. Let's move ahead and see illustration 3 now. I hope you are clear with illustration 2. Let's see illustration 3 now. Give journal entries to rectify the following. Number 1. A purchase of goods from Ram amounting to 150. So we have made purchases of goods from Ram. Purchase account should be involved. Has been wrongly entered in the sales book. What kind of error is this? So what we should do? Purchase should be debited. Purchase should be debited to Ram 150. By mistake we have credited to sales account. So what entry we have passed? Sales account credit 150. A purchase of goods from Ram amounting to 150 has been wrongly entered in the sales book. Students, you should understand. This is the error of sales book. That means both the side. How we will rectify this entry? We should purchase Ram, but we have not debited it. We should debit Ram. So over here we should purchase debit account, but we have not done it. So we will do it right now. Purchase account should be debited by 150. Sales by mistake we have credited it. So again we will debit it. Sales account debit 150. And Ram should be credited over here. So we will credit Ram 150, and by mistake if you could see that Ram is debited over here, so we will credit it again. So 150 plus 150 is 300. I believe point number 1 is clear. Let us go to point number 2 now. It talks about a credit sale of goods amounting to 120 to Ramesh has been wrongly passed through the purchase book. It is credit sale of 120 to Ramesh, but that has been passed wrongly to the purchase book. The entry should be Ramesh to sales. Ramesh to sales would be the correct entry. What wrong entry we had passed? Purchase to Ramesh. Purchase to Ramesh. Now we will see the rectification entry. How we will rectify? We should debit Ramesh over here. It is 120. 120, 120 and 120. So 120 Ramesh should be debited. By mistake we have credited it. So by double the amount we should debit it. That we have done it. We should write to sales. We should write to sales 120, and by mistake we have debited purchase. So we will credit the purchase. So to purchase 120. I think this point number 2 is also clear now. So this was second point, my dear students. Let me see the third one. On 31st December 2016, goods of the value 300 were returned by Hari Saran and were taken inventory on the same date, but no entry is passed in the books. So this is error of omission. Error of omission. Let's read it once again. Goods of the value 300 were returned by Hari Saran and there is no entry passed. So we will pass the entry now. Goods return, that is sales return. Account debited. Who had returned? Hari Saran. So to Hari Saran account, amount would be 300. I think it is clear. Let us go to point number 4 now. And it talks about an amount of 200 due from Mahesh Chand, which has been written off as bad debt in the previous year. Interesting. Was unexpectedly recovered and had been posted to personal account of Mahesh Chand. My dear students, you have posted to personal account of Mahesh Chand, but you should understand, in case of bad debt, we have already cancelled the name of Mahesh Chand. We have already cancelled the personal account of Mahesh Chand by debiting it to bad debt. So whenever there would be a bad debt in the previous year, the entry would be bad debt account debit to personal account of Mahesh Chand. So if Mahesh Chand's personal account is already closed, how can you post this recovery to Mahesh Chand? So this is wrong. How you will rectify that? By mistake you had credited Mahesh Chand. So you will debit Mahesh Chand now. Amount is 200 and bad debt recovered would be credited. BDR, bad debt recovered. I think it is clear now. Let's see the fifth one. A check of 100 received from Manmohan was dishonored and has been posted to the debit of sales return account. A check of 100 received from Manmohan was dishonored, okay, and has been posted to debit of sales return account. So wrongly you had debited the sales return account, so we should credit it. Sale return. We will credit the sale return by 100 and in debit we will write Manmohan. Manmohan account will be debited. This is the fifth entry. I think we are clear now. I think we are clear now. Let's see it over here. purchase, debit sales, debit to Ram, double the amount as I explained to you. Then this is quite similar with point number 1. Sales return, the third entry, Mahesh Chand and Manmohan. Thus, it can be said that error detected before preparation of trial balance can be rectified either through rectification statement, not entries, statements, illustration 1, or through rectification entries. It can be dealt in both the ways as per the need of the situation. Okay, students, I believe you must have understood till here. Let us do one thing now. Let's stop here. We'll continue further in the coming series of lecture and rest of the contents will be covered over there. Okay? Thank you.